live on your end, let me
Oh,
know.
it says I can stream to my audience. That would give us a lot.
Oh, it does? Okay,
Yeah, it says, oh, I
there
can't,
you
girl,
go.
it's too long. I gotta sign in, hook them up. We should have did that. I could,
I
you know,
didn't know. I
that's
didn't
all
know.
right. I didn't know. I just saw it on there. So I didn't know either.
Well, and then we're going live now on Instagram as well, so maybe you could share that. But we are officially
No,
live.
it's not. No, there's a link on my end that says stream to your audience,
Oh,
but I would
okay.
have to connect to every.
Every little thing. Well, now I
Mhm.
know.
Now
All
you know
right.
for your next guest that they can also be live on their platforms.
All right. Well, Ms. Lee, we are officially live, and I want to welcome you and welcome everyone else to another segment of Thriving Together. I want to thank you for joining me for this and having a conversation about creating and sustaining business. I had the pleasure of meeting Ms. Lee or Miss JoElle through a mutual friend, and we have really been connected ever since then. We met at the Pimento Room,
Oh,
and we
that's
sat.
right.
It is. We were sitting across from each other. It was. I
Yes,
walk around the corner, and all these people are there to just celebrate and be with Chanel. You were sitting
right.
across from me, and you had a catfish dip. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yes. I think it was because I wanted everybody to try what I was eating.
Yes, and it was
Yes.
good. It was good. And we've been talking and connecting from that moment. So thank
Yes,
you so much for joining me so we can have this business conversation with folks.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
take a second and introduce yourself, lady.
Well, I'm JoElle Lee. And my family and I just moved to, well, I don't want to say just anymore. We've been in outside of Raleigh in North Carolina, probably, I think this is our fourth year.
Okay.
So we have just absolutely loved this move. We came from the Maryland, DC area, but we are very happy here. I'm still excited about being here. I am an esthetician by trade.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in aesthetics for over 25 years. And for those that do not even know what that word means, I am in skincare because I spent a lot of time people thinking I was an anesthesiologist.
Are you
Okay.
serious?
Yeah. Like people would say, I would say I'm an esthetician. They'd be like, you put people out? And I was like, no,
No.
stop. No, but so a lot of people, especially when I became one 20 years ago, that wasn't a word
Mm-hmm.
people were most familiar with, but now it
Mm-hmm.
is more familiar. And it's basically the skincare or the skincare industry where you see clients and do facials and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that has been my trade or my career um, for, like I said, about 25 years. But I just had a lot of businesses inside that career. So I have written
Okay.
books, I have owned a product line, I have also, of course, seen clients. And now I'm exclusively teaching, and I'm primarily teaching on how to treat
Mhm.
skin of color, and I'm teaching other industry professionals about skin of color.
That is, I mean, again, learning what you do and everything that you do was just amazing to me. And what inspired me to even bring you to the segment, I mean, Thriving Together is about bringing a lot of different topics to the table. So we're not just surviving, making do, we're on autopilot, we're truly thriving. And there are a lot of people out there that aspire to launch, own a business. Some people call it a side hustle, but others is like, this is what I want to do. I want to be the CEO of my life. There are others that actually have a business. And they're maybe doing well, but we all have the ability to kind of level up. And you invited me to a women in business meetup not long after we met. And I was like, this is such a nice experience. Meeting new people because I had never met the ladies around the table before. And we were talking business. What inspired you to do that? And how long has it been going?
So you were actually, I think, at the third or fourth meeting
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, we moved to the area during COVID, so we spent a lot of time not meeting anyone. And
Oh,
I've been
oh,
trying
like
to
in the
kind of,
middle of COVID?
Well, we closed and we shut down the month later. So we closed on our home, and then 1 month later we were shut down. So I
Oh,
was literally in our house 2 years.
mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to find like my voice, my way here. I've
Mm-hmm.
always had that where I've lived before, whether I lived in Chicago or I lived in the Maryland, DC area. I've always had a
Mm-hmm.
business networking group or people I can talk to, bounce ideas off of. I love talking business and I love entrepreneurship talk, like, or just being around people who are entrepreneurs. And I think it helps to inspire each other. But what really motivated me to do it was I've always felt that entrepreneurship is a lonely road. It's filled with a lot of you making all of the decisions, not necessarily having someone to bounce ideas off of or get
Mm-hmm.
new or innovative ideas from, and most importantly, how to gain more resources. And it's unless you're networking in some capacity or at least sharing your ideas or talking about what you're doing, it's hard for you to connect and get the resources that you need to accomplish what you want.
That's
Okay.
true.
And it's also important to meet with other entrepreneurs to help save you from making huge mistakes on your road or what you're trying to do. So I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to have the business meetup, and I do target it towards women because my whole career has been women, number one. But there's something different about women entrepreneurs because what I find with women is we would just wear so many hats in our lives.
Yeah.
And how do you juggle even starting a business, especially if you're already working, you're a wife, you have kids, and so on, whatever that your other obligations are. Um, Starting a business or even saying, I want this side hustle, I want this. How am I going to work this into my life wearing all these hats and give that business what it needs? And sometimes you need
Mm-hmm.
support from other women who at least can identify with that or who are in that same boat that you can also, bounce ideas off of as well. So I was
Mm-hmm.
inspired to have some meetups where it would encourage women to come together, network, of course, talk about the
Yeah.
resources they have, talk about their business, but also say, hey, these are the ideas I have over the next 3 months, and be held accountable for them. I think also in business, when you work by yourself, you have to be held accountable for reaching your goals. It's different when you tell a room full of 20 women in the next 3 months, I plan to do one, two, three. Okay, and then you feel like at the next meeting you better have something that you did, and the girls are holding you accountable. But more than that, if you're on your way to accomplishing those goals, you have 20 other people you can talk to and say, listen, I've reached the obstacle,
Mm-hmm.
somebody help me get to the next thing. So it's so you don't feel alone. It's so that you are able to get more resources to grow your business and really have a place where you can feel free to talk about your business without the worry of someone trying to start the same thing or take your ideas and things like that. So that's what really inspired it.
You said I'm over here, so my mind is not the best sometimes. I'm over here taking it. It's like, oh, she said that. Oh, she said that, because I want to circle back to it. But like you were talking about women in business and the roles that we have, that's real talk because you and we've been working today and we were talking about, oh, I ran upstairs from cooking dinner before we popped on this show. And but yeah, you don't get to take off the other roles, the other hats when you decide, okay, I'm gonna launch this business. I'm gonna go for it. How have I'm sorry, you could say
No,
something.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, how have as mom, wife,
Mm.
business owner, how have you managed that? How have you juggled it? Because it'll be advice for the next woman.
I'm like, I'm still doing that, and I hope there's a class on that because I'm still doing it. Now,
Right.
I
Figure
think
it
we talked
out.
about this in the last meeting. I'm going to tell you the win that is really the one decision that I had to make
Mm-hmm.
that really helps me balance. And I don't even want to say that I've been good at balancing recently because because life has been lifing, things have been going on. And that's what happens even when you have a business. Life is lifing and things are going on and you're still
It
trying to
will.
maintain. But I think one thing we do, especially when we start a business or even when we're in one,
Mm-hmm.
is we only calendar or plan our business. And
Mm-hmm.
I think you were in our last meeting when I don't know if you were there, but in one of my meetings, I really talked about how you plan your life in your calendar and your
Mm-hmm.
business around your life. Otherwise, you're catching up on your life all the time. And what happens is January 1st, we all break out the planner. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's business in January, business in February, and so on. You're writing everything down. Life isn't in that same planner. Birthdays, anniversaries, vacations, self-care, whatever else you have going on, working out, whatever, that's not there. Just what you want to accomplish in business. And when you do that, something's losing you, something's not getting you, and you're always like, I forgot that, or I know I said we would hook up, or I know I said this, I know I said that. What I like to do, and this has saved me tremendously, is I plan a calendar over 12 months of my ideal life as a mother, a wife.
I like
Okay. And I go, what are all the things my family needs in what months, anniversaries, birthdays, so on. But am I going to still plan that girl time? Am I going to have that girlfriend's weekend in October? I definitely want that girlfriend's weekend because I need that. Am I going to plan that massage? Am I going to plan that facial? Am I going to plan the days I'm going to work out?
mm-hmm.
What are all the things I need for me in the calendar? Okay.
Right.
Now, how am I going to work my business inside there?
I
And
like
then when you look at your calendar, when you look at your week, you see all of you in the week. You don't just see the business you.
mm-hmm.
You see your whole week as the mother, the wife, and the business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was one major change I had to make. I had to see my week with all my hats on instead of just one hat.
Right.
And that helps you to organize and really get realistic about how much time you can put in your business that week. See, that's the other thing. We'll have these grand ideas. We'll be talking about, oh, we're going to accomplish this week. Life's hitting us. The end of the week
Mm-hmm.
comes. You did 2 instead of 10 things you said. Now you're getting a little discouraged. You're losing a little bit momentum. You feel like something keeps coming up. What am I going to do? And you get like, oh, I really wanted to accomplish this. I tell in every business meetup I do, I talk about set yourself up to win every night. Go to bed a winner. Like don't set up the failure. If you know you can't do the 15 today, let's get real. Pick
Yeah,
3, you got us. Pick 3, you got us. So when you go to bed, I did all 3, I'm good. If
I like
if you
that.
got to 4, it was a bonus night. Like, ooh, and I got a bonus. But I like to go to bed winning. I don't want to go to bed with what I didn't do. I don't want to be at the end of the week about what I didn't accomplish. I set up a week that I can accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there's time left over, I add. But I don't, I recommend, I think a lot of times in business, we overextend. We think
Yeah.
that we have way more time than in reality than we really do.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
true.
when you're able to see how many hours you give to each a part of you, and when you're able to really look at what is required of you in each area of your life, you will see just how much time your business really have. And then it's easier to execute when you know I only have 4 hours today to execute than it is I think I have 8.
Right.
Right.
And that goes into your business thriving because if you neglect yourself or you
Mhm.
neglect the relationships and the things that bring you joy, then you're not really able to be effective and pour into your business. Really, you're sucking your joy out of the business that you started that you were passionate about.
A
It-
lot of people get in business and don't enjoy.
Mm.
So this happened to me when I
Yeah.
had the product line. I did
Uh-huh.
not like it at all,
Oh.
and I enjoyed creating it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but when it was a business,
It's
I
like, oh,
didn't
it's not fun
enjoy.
anymore.
I did I was like, when am I going to get to happy? Okay. So
Mm.
there was times in my career I was doing something because here's the deal, you're going to get ideas in your business and you're going to think this is a great idea, I should try it.
Mm-hmm.
um and you get in it and realize even if it's doing well, it's not necessarily something you want to be doing, but you wouldn't know unless you were doing it. Okay.
Right.
So you have to make adjustments. And I always say that, you don't have to fail in any part of your businesses. You just have to adjust them. You also
Mm-hmm.
have to know when it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go into things knowing. Um, you don't have to wait. You always say, I have a saying that says God drops a pebble before he drops a brick. I try to stay in pebble zone as often as I can. Okay. I'm always like, got it. Thanks for the pebble. No bricks needed. I've been in brick mode. Don't want to go back. I got the sign.
That sounds painful. The bricks are
So,
painful.
yeah, it's never just all at once a brick. It's always
Mm-hmm.
pebble, pebble. You see that? You see that? It is up to you to accept and receive what you get. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
then what are you going to decide? What adjustments are you going to make?
Right.
The thing about having business is all about having the ability to adjust. Okay, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to need your tenacity and all of that, but it's adjusting all the time
Right.
to new things all the time. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you go into your business with the market you think it should be, the product you think it should be, and when you get there, that those people tell you what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That
What do
customer
you
tells
mean
you
they
what
tell
it's going to
you? What do you mean they tell you what it's going to
be. In
be?
other words, let's say, for example, you're selling homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you were like, I am only going to sell homes in Cary. And I
Mm-hmm.
have my heart set on Cary. That's my area. But every single person calling you is in Raleigh. But
Gotcha.
you made a whole business plan for Raleigh. You spent all this time researching. You went around. You was like, oh my God. But you're like, everybody calling me is from Raleigh. And that's what I mean when I say you can go into business with your
Mm-hmm.
whole view. This is how it's going to
Right.
be. This is where I'm going to do it, whatever. But the phone's ringing somewhere else and it's dictating to you the direction you should go. It's dictating where your demand really will be and where it is. Uh-oh, LaRonda, I think you froze. I don't know what happened, but I think you froze. Well, folks, this is the segment when we have technical difficulties. Okay. And the funny thing is, we spent 15 minutes making sure that we weren't going to have them, and we're having them. So I don't know if she wants to log in again, go live again. I have to wait and see. Well, I don't even know if LaRonda hears me either. So I have to wait and see what she does. Let me give her a minute. I'm going to see what happens if I try again. Okay, I'm alone here.
Can you hear me? Look at that. The devil is a lie. We are experiencing a little technical difficulty here. Oh, I think we're back.
Okay.
Look at that. So we are back. Look,
That's
the
business.
devil
That's the adjustment. That was perfect.
is
That was
boom.
perfect. That's what I'm talking about. What do you do
Hmm.
in those moments?
Yeah. Look, you don't freak out. You just say, okay, we're going to get back on it. We're going to pick up where we left off. So there you have
Right.
it. We pivoted. You got to be flexible.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to have that flexibility.
Yes. All right. So look, now I'm trying to me and my perimenopause brain. Where were
No,
we
you
when
don't
we
even
got
have
kicked
to,
off?
honey, because I am the poster child for that. So you don't have no. I if there's a symptom, I have it. So
Oh my
that's
God.
another live.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh,
That's
that is
another,
another live. It
that's
really
another
is.
live. It is real. It is happening, and I
It
understand.
is. It is indeed. But you were talking about again in terms of pivoting. You made the example of I could study research and say I'm only going to do business in Cary, but then all of my customers, the people that are reaching out to me, they want to go in Raleigh. So if I
What do
want to
you
be
do?
successful in running my business, guess what? I'm gonna have to sell some houses in Raleigh. You
Well, I'm
know?
gonna have to change how I'm doing things in general and where are they asking to buy these houses. It's going to be everything because you may think you have a market, and I'm just talking to people who are starting. You
Mm-hmm.
may have a market in mind or one you think you're speaking to, but you may have a different market that's reaching out to you that you are reaching,
Right.
and you
Right.
will have to adjust.
Right. That is very true.
Mhm.
The other thing that I love that you talked about was really two things. The fear,
Mhm.
because sometimes when you have an idea and you say you're going to start a business, it's not just a fear of owning it and putting it out there, but just the response from people. How have you been working in that group or with other women in your tribe in terms of with the fear of speaking on an idea and launching a business?
I need more. When you say fear of launching it,
Well,
uh,
I'm saying fear of speaking it, sharing your
yes,
idea,
I do think,
that
and I
part.
think a lot of times fear also comes from because maybe who you've already shared it with wasn't very positive about you doing it. Okay, so
Hmm.
there's fear of will I be judged first?
Right.
Okay, there's always fear of that. And then there's fear that are you going to take my idea when I share it with you, especially in a room full of entrepreneurs and so on. And
Yeah.
I make everyone sign a disclosure agreement when I have my meetings to put people at ease
Hmm.
regarding that. It is not a place designed to make you feel like it's not safe to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you did have a question in the comments that came through as we were
Okay.
transitioning, as we were pivoting. You talked about pebbles. You like to deal with the pebbles that God gives you before they become a brick.
Right.
Um, and Shara asked the question in the comments, what would you consider a pebble in business? What are those pebbles you're referring to?
Well, like I said, let's say I'm going to talk about the products because, girl, that was that was the brick, honey. I
Oh,
can
the
tell
way
you
you
about
clutching your
pebbles and
pearls
brick.
when you talk about.
I can talk about a pebble, a boulder, a brick. All the stones came in that. Okay, so I, first I got a business partner,
Uh-huh.
and well, I want to say an investor,
Okay.
which was a bad idea. I found out later. Pebble. I had to get from the investor, Pebble, and I wanted a product for other estheticians. I mean, I wanted a product for the public,
Mm-hmm.
but only estheticians were calling.
Mm.
Pebble.
Pebble.
Okay. And the way I was designing my product was I wanted kind of a mass market,
Mm-hmm.
but industry professionals were looking at it like you've been in an esthetician a long time. I'd love to use your product. I want your training. Now I need training manuals. I'm in spas,
Oh.
um, Pebble. And then, you know, I need a whole organization to be inside of businesses. I need training teams. I need now this is when the brick is starting to come because
Mm-hmm.
I'm way in over my head. And I spent a lot of money to launch these products. I also launched too many products at one time. I learned that. I was in a space I wasn't ready for. And
Mhm.
I also was in a space where I didn't have the manpower to sustain.
Mhm.
Okay. And I kept trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to
Yeah.
make it work. I'm going to make it work because what happens to you sometimes is when you're having success over and over at something, when you get to something that you're not really successful at, you just think you have to keep moving things around to get there. When, girl, it's just
Mhm.
time to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm still trying to fit this in here. And I'm getting, I told you, I'm getting hit with rocks. I'm getting hit with pebbles.
Mhm.
The boulders are falling down the mountain. I'm going, we can do it. And by year 7, I'm in a brick house. Okay. I'm in total
Ooh.
liquidation.
Mm.
That's what I mean. Like, I should have known when I even got the investor and he was like, okay, I want all my money back in 6 months, which he didn't say up front. I could have took my L and then like
And
I
just
was
dipped
getting
in.
little signs. You're not ready for this.
Mhm.
You came in the wrong way.
Yeah.
You launched too many things. You've got too much happening at a lab. You need to do this. And that's what I mean. Like you
Mhm.
can get little signs. Listen, I'm sure you've been in a relationship before where you had signs.
Mhm. Mhm.
And when
Been
you do
looking for
leave, you're like,
signs.
I should have left 6 months ago. I remember this. I remember that. Some things you choose to acknowledge,
Mhm.
some
Some
things you
things you
don't.
choose to ignore.
But here come the brick now, and you have to go.
You
Like,
got
oh,
the big
but when you
motherfucker.
go and you call your girlfriend, it's like, and girl, remember when this happened? Oh, and remember, well, that's because pebble, pebble, pebble. You
Mhm.
could have left earlier. You could have saved
Right.
yourself time. You could have did this, but you are trying to make something work
Mhm.
when and I don't want anyone to get confused with not achieving a goal they truly want due to an obstacle. I don't want that confusion.
Right.
Okay? Because there are things you're going to take on that just obstacles come with them.
Mhm.
And you're going to have to overcome the obstacle. But the difference is this: you're still progressing when it's a goal. You understand? If
Right.
I'm doing all that and taking 3 steps back at every move, I need to evaluate my decision.
That's heavy.
Okay, this is
Mhm.
different. Now, it's different when I can still show progress getting through obstacles and I'm still striving for something. Okay.
Mhm.
But when I'm doing that with no traction, um, and no progress, no new ideas, no nothing. And I'm, some things are meant to be left. And that's
Right.
just how I feel about it. And I can
Mhm.
put that time and energy into something that's working for me.
I know you see me going here and there. I'm just jotting down, I mean, literally little gems. And the one that
Right.
I have lines under is that go to bed a winner, because
Oh,
that
you
goes
have
back to
to.
what you said. If you pay attention to the pebbles, and you don't wait on that brick, you get to go to bed a winner. Go to
But
bed a
more
winner.
than that, you're going to be your cheerleader as an entrepreneur. I mean,
Mhm.
you have to stay motivated.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. I'm a list maker. So I had to learn that my list had to be short. So I
Mhm.
felt like I accomplished more often. We don't celebrate the wins when we're alone because we always have a goal the next day.
Yeah.
So I think your business should get a little bit of you. I don't care if it's your side hustle and it's just 15 minutes. If you're like, I got to set my clock 15 minutes early just so that side hustle gets a little bit of me, or just so my business get a little bit of me.
Mhm.
Something should happen in your business every day. Some source of energy should happen toward it if that's something you really desire.
Right.
Okay. And I mean, I'm not saying 7 days a week, but it should relatively be most of the week that yes, I have my
Mhm.
pulse on that. Okay.
Mhm.
But I don't want to go to bed. And this isn't just the work list, this is the list. Because
Mhm.
understand, again, your list is not just work, it's everything that was required of you today.
Mhm.
I have a have to. I
Yeah.
literally on my to do list says have to.
Mhm.
I'm good if we just get to half twos today. I'm like, what? We won.
Right.
We won.
Right.
Okay, so when you feel like you've accomplished something each night, it's a different momentum in the morning than I'm still on that list, or
Mm.
said I was going to do such and such. I still haven't done it, or I said I was going to research such and such. I still didn't do it, and that's what starts getting you more discouraged and walking away some days, or
Right.
I don't even want to deal with it today. It's not
Mm-hmm.
going my way, or um, you don't, like I said, you don't have a support team around you going, let's just do this or let's do that. Like I literally am going through something right now where I had to call in some support this weekend. I'm teaching a class 2 days in Raleigh this
Mm-hmm.
weekend. And I was like, look, I just need help. Y'all need to come. And they're going to help me tomorrow. Like, we got it. Like, what do you do? And that's the other thing, asking and delegating what you need. If
That's
that
true.
even
That's
includes the
hard.
people in the
It's
house
hard
with you.
sometimes. Yeah.
Oh my God, my husband and my son can all sell some cleanser. Okay, everybody in here has a job. Like, literally, if you are my friend, you've worked something. If
Yeah.
you if you are my friend, you've been at something,
Mm-hmm.
holding up something.
You've been
All hands
something.
on deck. We gotta sell this. We gotta do no. Like, don't hesitate to delegate to your family. Listen, I'm trying to have this
Mm-hmm.
business. I'm trying to do this. This is what I need. Whether
Yeah.
I need your support at home or I need your support in the business, let's go.
Right.
So trust me, I will delegate, I will ask, well, whatever resources I have, whether they are 9 years old or 90 years old, let's get to it.
Right. You look, you just make the task, what is it, age appropriate.
Yes,
This is what I know you are capable of doing.
exactly. Exactly.
Oh goodness. Now you if you could tell, you know how they say, if you could speak to your former self getting started versus and what you've known now, what are like three things you would tell yourself to
I
prepare
would, no
yourself
matter
for that
how
business?
grand my idea is, I would start small, streamline it down, keep my overhead low, and grow my business organically.
Mm, good. Dropping, as they say, you're dropping gems, JoElle. You're dropping gems. Now, again, we're talking about all of the challenges and things that go with the business. What have you loved about being in business for yourself?
My word is freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I became a business owner because I like to be free to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be told what to do each day, what time to be there, when not to be there. I like the freedom of, if I want to take my kid to school, I take my kid to school. If I want to pick him up, I pick him up. If I want to be there, if I want to go on vacation this week, I just go. If I want, I design my life, and freedom was my motivator. And if I could pick one thing I love most about being in business for myself, is all the flexibility that it gives me. It allows
Mm-hmm.
me to design the life that I want. I was talking to a friend of mine, and this is my year I turned 50, and you would not believe how excited I am about turning 50.
I
Okay,
love
but
it.
I am loving this. I am
What we
loving this.
doing?
Like,
We
I am like,
partying?
yes. Hmm?
We better be partying, right? I better not
Well,
find
I'm having a huge party, but it's in Italy. But anyway, you're
out.
welcome to come. You're welcome to come. But my right now, I'm the happiest I've been, as far as all the accomplishments of my career.
Mm-hmm.
I've really reached the height of them. I'm in a place now where I kind of want to reinvent myself. Like, what's my second act going to be? But I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy to be there.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I made a mark in my industry, that I made a lot of accomplishments and
Mm-hmm.
left something there.
Yeah.
Okay, but now I started that at 21, 22 years old. I'm a different
Mm-hmm.
person. I've grown into something else. I'm excited about my second act. I'm excited about what I want that to be. But like my life is exactly how I wanted it, how I visualized it. And I think that's all I was trying to do along the way. I was
Mm.
really trying to design this life I ultimately wanted, and I did it. I was telling my girlfriend, I'm not just celebrating 50. I'm really
Mhm.
celebrating that the vision that I had, I'm living it. And I'm not just talking about it anymore.
Right.
And if I could tell anybody watching,
Mhm.
I really don't care where you're at in your life.
Mhm.
I do believe you have the ability to design what you ultimately want, but your mindset and your work ethic or how you look at things will play the biggest role in whether or not it happens.
Yeah.
Okay. But I told another friend, I love being here. I just love
Mhm.
being here. Like,
Mhm.
I can't wait when I go to heaven. I'm going to be like, that was great. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Love it.
It came with ups and downs. I understand. But I love living. I love being here. I love what's next. I enjoy getting up and going, what am I going to do next?
Mhm.
And I know that I got a lot of that from the freedom I got in business
Yeah.
and the freedom to think about what you ultimately want. Um, were there times in business where it was rough, like days I didn't know, days that the account is negative? Yeah.
Mhm.
But I didn't want to give up the freedom.
Right.
That's what kept me going. And
Mhm.
even what it's been able to give my family, everything. Like I'm just excited for the next chapter.
I love it. Well, we've got what I realized we hadn't talked about the first chapter. So,
Oh,
in this first chapter, again, another element of a successful business is one of them is solving a problem, and that's what
mhm.
you built your business around is providing. I guess you could say solution, solving a problem, meeting a need. I'm gonna let
Mhm.
you tell the people about it.
No, so in all the years that I've been in aesthetics, skin of color was not taught or how to
Mm-hmm.
treat it correctly. And
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate enough to work alongside a Black plastic surgeon and a Black dermatologist. So a lot of my training is medical. I worked along physicians most of my career.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found is a lot of people of color go for services and their skin is damaged, especially if they're having chemical peels, laser treatments, etc. So I really wanted to design educational programs for estheticians where they actually learn how to treat skin of color properly and effectively without the worry of any damaging of the skin or any downtime of the skin. But most importantly, like how can they use more aggressive treatments to achieve results without worrying about damaging their skin? So
Mm-hmm.
my platform is online as well as in person. People take my classes all around the world. And what I didn't know was around the world it's not taught. And in all fairness, my industry is very European based.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's performed around the world, and there's people of
Right.
color around the world,
Around the room.
but estheticians aren't taught how to treat that skin properly. So once I realized how much of a need it was, that's how I ended up writing a book. And then the book led to the classes. So we do the online classes. Like I said, this weekend, I'm also doing a 2-day class on skin of color on chemical peels where I'm teaching at the Embassy Suites in Raleigh. So,
You
um,
you probably have people from all over coming
yeah,
to
so
that
we have
class.
people fly in from all over for my classes. I've had people fly in from all over the world for my classes, but you can also certify in things online as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
See, now you can teach that with ease because you're not doing the product.
good.
I know, I
Mhm.
know,
I
I
can't with the
know.
products. And so like I said, now teaching,
Mhm.
I realized I really love that.
Mhm.
And I love doing the hands-on training. So we're having hands-on training too, but
Yeah.
I really, really like, well, I've always liked speaking. But I really love teaching and really knowing that I'm teaching people around the world to really help people of color with their skin and all of that. But I'm really, really enjoying this because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not servicing anymore.
Gotcha.
I stopped
Well,
servicing when we came here. So it's been 4 years since I've been an actual service provider.
and it's been all teaching and
Mhm.
writing. Have
I
you
teach
written?
100%.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, chapter one has been one heck of a chapter. Those of you that are watching, those of you that will watch later, I was telling her, and all this time that I've gotten to know her, we have met at Starbucks and chatted, eaten catfish dip, and then I learned that Then I learned that she was Michelle Obama's esthetician, and
Yes.
it just again it told me how humble you are, just how authentic you are. And it's like, I've loved getting to know you. But of course, when I saw that, my mouth dropped and I'm like, huh? What? How did she know? Some
No,
people
but
are
that's what
new
I
to that.
shared with you is that I spent a lot of years with that being, my maiden name was JoElle. So when I started doing her, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't married.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Joe Alliance, okay. And then I think maybe the third part of the what is it when you call the not this what is it when you get elected and you go to the White House in your term.
Oh, it's term. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure where you
right.
what
Because
you
I was
were
like,
referring to.
my
Oh,
mind kept saying that's the perimenopause. Remember? So and saying this, I was going to say their stay, and I
yeah.
was like,
Oh, got
that
you.
that that would be incorrect. Okay, so
Mm-hmm. Their
the
term.
term, I think
The
it was
term.
the third year of the term, I became JoElle Lee. Then they were calling me JoElle Lyons Lee, Michelle Obama's esthetician, so on. But
Yeah.
um, that was another part about coming here. I said, I want to just be myself. If people
Mm-hmm.
find out about it, it's fine. It's a part
Mm-hmm.
of my story. And I had a friend come over this past weekend who said to me, it was very enlightening, that really had me thinking about this all over again. And she said, that is always going to be a part of your story, and that is just fine.
Right.
And you should learn how to weave it into whatever you want your second act to be, because
Mm-hmm.
that was still such a big part of you.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, instead of trying to close the book on it, um, make it the story of part of the story of your life and whatever you want to weave it into in your life, because
Right.
it's still a major part of it. And
Yeah.
I never looked at it like that,
Got
and I was like, she's
you.
right. And she said, I'm quite sure if you want to be a speaker, if you want to, in your classes and you're telling your story, that has to come up on the
Mm-hmm.
journey of even the ups and downs of what it was like to even do that. And when you're trying to inspire someone, and it really enlightened me. And see, that's what I mean. When you get with people, I didn't come up
Mm-hmm.
with that.
Right. But
Someone
you
brought
get with
that to
people.
me. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Get
And
with
she gave me a
people.
whole new perspective and outlook on it.
Well, I love how what you've learned and you're pouring into people, just like people have poured into you.
Mhm.
And that's what's going to help all of us be successful. Because, as you were saying earlier, life be life, and no matter what,
Yes.
It does. But this has been such a great conversation. I feel like we need a part two. That perimenopause sister circle conversation is coming,
Yes.
because this is like the second time it's come up in a conversation. So I just think we need to do it. Um,
Yes.
but I do want to share how folks can get in touch with you, because again, you teach. There may be people in the profession, esthetician. She's not putting anybody to sleep. She's about skincare. Um, she is about skincare. So if you want to reach JoElle, I'll put her information up on the screen. She is at joellelee.com. And then you can find her on Instagram at joellee underscore aesthetics training.
Mhm.
And you can be certified, learn from her in person or via virtual as well.
Yes.
And you said you've written books and everything. So is
Yes,
there
so
what's
I wrote a book for industry professionals on how to treat skin of color with peels and lasers, but I also did a business building workbook for them as well. So I
okay?
teach how to grow your aesthetics business in my classes, and I also have
Mhm.
those classes online.
Okay. Now the books, are those available, I guess, what,
They're on Amazon.
Amazon?
Hmm.
Amazon. So
Yes.
go to Amazon. You can look up JoElle to find those books, so that
Hmm.
you can learn from her, learn more about her, then sign up for some in-person classes and all that. But I just thank you for your time,
Yes.
and for being with me. And like I said, we are here every Thursday at 7 o'clock, bringing different
You're here
topics
every Thursday?
every Thursday at 7. And again,
Mhm.
if I'm being pulled somewhere, then it's pre-recorded and then I have it go out.
Oh, okay. So you go,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
have
I'm like,
had
look
them.
at you.
Yeah. Well, cuz again, we have roles. So my
Look
second
at
show,
you.
my daughter had high school awards. I'm like, it's just my second show. I can't disappear on the second week.
But
So
that's
that's
a
what,
great commitment. And weekly's
yeah,
tough in
it
social
is.
media.
It is
Yeah.
tough. It is tough, but
So I
we're
commend
trying to
you on it.
hold on. I'm
Yes.
trying to hold on.
Yes.
So, and if you want to get in touch with me, here's my information on the screen. But I thank you guys. I thank you for being with me, JoElle. I thank
Of
those
course.
for watching, and I'll see you again next week.
Okay. See you next time.